What is up, everybody? Today we are going to be kegging my latest brew, the Smoked Pecan Porter, aka Prestige Porter. But before I get started, what's the first thing you need to do? That's right, crack a beer. Some people in the craft beer community like to refer to this as relax, don't worry, have a homebrew. And that term kind of came from when you're first starting out brewing or you're trying a new method, you tend to worry and get nervous about it. So they tell you to drink a beer, perhaps a homebrew if you have one. I'm drinking a homebrew, and this is actually the first beer I ever made. It's a amber, and shoot, it's like a year and a half to almost 2 years old now. So let's see how it goes. This may be my last one, actually. It's going to be super carbonated because it's been in the bottle for a while. Leave the little remaining bit because that's going to where all your yeast is. Still pretty hazy, but check out all that fizz, that head. It's pretty sweet. All right, let's get into it. Cheers. Alright, the first most important thing is to make sure all of your equipment is properly sanitized. So what I have here is a bucket full of sanitation fluid. I've poured about 3/4 of it into my keg, which was cleaned before with dish soap. And I put some CO2 in there just to push it through. And in order to clean all the tubing inside the keg, I'm going to release it through the tap, the picnic tap. Just like that. And this is what you see in the sanitation bucket here is all my tubing and my siphon starter, auto siphon here, which is going to help us, which helps greatly start the siphon to get your beer out of the bottle, which you'll see here in a little bit. I also have a turkey baster, which I suck out of the fermentation chamber right when I open it up, so I can have a little taste before it's carbonated, because it's hard to wait even just 2 days after you've been waiting 3 weeks or 4 weeks for fermentation. So now I'm going to take my fermentation bucket, set it up on the counter, and get it above my keg, which is sitting right here on the ground, that we just sanitized. Reason for that is once we start our siphon, it's above it. It's going to run the whole way without having to adjust it or anything. A little tip I read online that I'll share with y'all is when you set your fermentation bucket up on the counter, you put it on a couple of books or anything to prop it up and put it at an angle, because that'll get because you'll have a lot of solids at the bottom. You want to get that all settled at the bottom so you can get as much beer out as possible without getting a lot of yeast and whatnot into your keg. I like to use beer books. Just, I don't know, the authors of this book probably would want, you know, if I were to choose a book, that'd be the one to prop up my bucket with. So I have How to Brew by John Palmer and The Brewmaster's Table by Garrett Oliver, the head brewmaster at Brooklyn Brewery. So here's my Here's my fermentation bucket. First thing I'm gonna do is take off my airlock. It's been sitting in here for about 3 weeks now, 3.5 weeks, so it is a little tough to get off of this rubber grommet. There it goes. Put that in the sink. And set it up on our books. And let's crack it open just to see how it smells. You want to do as little as possible to disturb your beer after it's fermented, because there's, like I said, there's a lot of solids at the bottom, and you don't want to stir that up into the liquid and get that into your keg, and which will end up in your glass. Smells good. Alright, next thing I'm going to do, take my auto siphon, which is sanitized, thoroughly sanitized. Take that, drop it into my bucket, and basically do a couple pumps, put down my beer, like this, which will start to suck the beer up, out, down the tube, right into the keg. Alright, let's give it a whirl. Oh shit, water everywhere. Bear with me while I make a mess. Gotta get as much sanitation fluid out of here. By the way, I'm using Star Sands. There's a whole bunch of different kinds you can use, but that's the one I picked for no real reason. That should be good enough. That ain't gonna hurt nothing. You can ask the pros. Little Star Sand doesn't hurt anybody. Take the top off, drop it in, and here we go. Go beer, go. Go beer, go. This is the fun part. There it goes. It'll be in here one day. Actually, oh, mamma mia. It's not what's there. I'm gonna sit here and hold this. This should be Goblet Games and Guns episode 6, beer of the day. If all goes right. If I haven't drank it all by then, we'll see. By the way, this amber I'm drinking, my first beer that's been in the bottle for about almost 2 years now, doesn't taste much like an amber anymore. It tastes like a high alcohol amber or imperial amber. The beer actually continues to ferment while it's in the bottle. There is live yeast in there. Probably did to a certain point and stopped now. But kind of getting like a Belgian flavor in there from like a Belgian yeast. Obviously I didn't use a Belgian yeast, but it's good for being 1.5 years, almost 2 years old. And we're probably about 2 gallons in. I'll go ahead and stop the camera for now. Alright, while that's racking, something I did forget to do. I forgot to pull a little sample. I'm going to steal some beer real quick. Hope the keg's okay with that. Just a little bit. By the way, that turkey baster I just sanitized. Hopefully no infections. Ooh, that's pretty cloudy. That's okay though, don't scare me. Not near as dark as the last one. But I definitely am picking up the pecan in there a lot more. The last one tasted a bit nutty. This one tastes like pecans. That should be a good one. Ooh, that's pecan-y. Pecan-y saucy. Alright, come back at you. All right, that's an empty bucket. Look at that cake on the bottom. Ew. And, sorry about that, a full keg. What you're seeing there on the top is the Sanitation Star Sand bubbles. Nothing to worry about. Aftermath. Ah, sorry about that. I still have it on the tripod and it's bumping around. All right, let's close it up. All right, got the beer in the keg, got the cap sanitation fluid. Nice and clean, nice and clean. Put that on there like that. Last step. How do you like your beer, carbonated or flat? I like mine carbonated. Just connect it with CO2. Set it, let's do 30 psi. We'll let that sit on top of there for about 24 or about 48 hours or so. We should be fully carbonated. All we have to do is burp and ready to drink. So here we go. Alright, check in with us, episode 6, where we're going to be tasting this beer. You get to hear how we feel about it, how Coop and Hilty like it, maybe a guest host, who knows. Keep locked in. I want to see those comments. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me what I'm doing right. I'm not an expert at this. Like us. Subscribe to us. Hit us up in an email. GobletsGamesandGuns at gmail or GobletsGamesandGuns at gmail.com. On Twitter at GobletsGamesandGuns. I'm at Ricky Shulman. Tell Hilty how stupid you think he is. How many dudes he hooks up with on the weekend. You can make a guess at that. I think it's about maybe 1 a night. He's not too much of a man whore, but let him know at Hilty Games, at Hilty Games, and tell Cooper how bad he sucks at fishing at CoopDog on Twitter, maybe at CoopDog09. I don't know. You'll see it below. All right, episode 6 coming soon. Peace.